fresh loans by Mr. President. Now, I'll just paint you a couple of pictures now. Imagine you have a piggy bank where you save your allowance. Now, you want to buy a toy that costs 1,000 naira, but you only have 500 naira. Now, what do? You might ask your parents for help or borrow from a friend. Now, that's what countries like Nigeria do when they need money for big projects. So the Nigeria's government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been asking for loans to fund important projects like roads, schools, healthcare. I mean, the Senate, Nigeria's upper house of parliament, has approved some of these loan requests, including the most recent request to borrow 1.15 trillion naira to cover the unfunded portion of the 2025 budget deficit. 1.15 trillion naira to cover the unfunded portion of the 2025 budget deficit. Now, recall that in May of 2023, National Assembly had approved the conversion of 22.7 trillion naira in CBN overdraft into long-term debt instruments. That was a move that quite a number of persons saw immediately swell the domestic debt profile. I mean, since then, though, Nigeria's total public debt has increased by about 65.02 trillion naira now within 2 years of President Bola Tinubu's administration, and is driven mainly by exchange rate depreciation and persistent deficit financing. And this is according to data from the Debt Management Office. As of June 30 of 2025, Nigeria's total public debt stood at 152.4 trillion naira, and it's made up of 71.85 trillion naira external and 80.55 trillion naira domestic debt. So if all the loans requests are approved, Nigeria's debt could rise to 193 trillion naira. Oh, it's a small money. It's a small money. Somebody just whispered that in his heart. Says, in not this country, we're too rich to be poor now. We're too poor to be rich. We have so much money. We don't know how to spend it. But that some time ago, many years ago, it said Nigeria's problem is that we had too rich. We don't even know that we had too rich. We don't even know how to spend this money. But now, I guess what he says is the truth, regardless of how you want to see it. We don't know how to spend monies. And that's where the place of misappropriation of funds comes into it, because there is lack of transparency and accountability. Transparency and accountability. The minister was once asked, how much is it from for the entire project they mentioned, and said, okay, what about how much is it, and how much is it, and then he refuses to tell because lack of accountability. Maybe in the end he made a rough estimate, or he came put it out there what it was. But whatever it is, how do you feel like because you sit in a certain position, a public space, meaning that I can lay claims to that office of yours because it is an office for my well-being, and you think that you're the all-powerful and almighty, and you cannot be asked questions from the people you claim to serve? Now this goes beyond that minister. I mean, it goes to every other person. Them who are old and them who are officers, they don't think that they should account or be transparent to you and I. Some would say my respects, my submissions, my allegiance is only to the president, not to you. I'm not answerable to you. I'm answerable to my principal who put me here. But we saw in this case of borrowings again. Senator Sani Musa, Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance, Niger East, says there is no economy that grows without borrowing. What are we doing, or what we are doing, is in line with global best practices. Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, Chairman, Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, Lagos East, adds these loans are long-term, some with tenors ranging from 20 to 35 years, and are strictly tied to capital and human development projects. However, some people like Senator Abdul Ningi, Bauchi Central, are concerned about the transparency and equitable distribution. And they are warning Nigerians now. And they are talking that Nigerians deserve to know what the specifics of these loans are intended for and the intended impact. Dr. Muda Yusuf, CEO, Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, is warning too, saying Nigeria's rising debt service burden is already outspacing capital expenditure and could begin to crowd out essential government functions if not properly managed. Be that as it may, the Senate has approved President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's request to raise 1.15 trillion naira from the domestic debt market, and this is to cover the unfunded portion of the 2025 budget deficit. The approval followed the adoption of a report by the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts during plenary on Wednesday. All right, so we will connect with a prof in a short bit, a very, very well-renowned prof, and he would give us some thoughts, some of his wisdom he will share with us in view of the topical conversation this morning, right? I mean, I can break it down so that you can have a proper understanding of the issue. But let's connect with a prof already. Hello, good morning to you, Prof.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, good morning. It feels good to have you on the Prog Show this morning. Thank you, even on short notice. Professor Kamal Bello, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Now, you are the Dean of Faculty of Sciences. You are a renowned expert in politics and administration, and your wealth of knowledge, Nigerians and family members of this great radio station are asking and pleading for. I mean, on the matter that concerns the 1.15 trillion naira that the Nigerian government has resorted to borrow domestic loans. And it is said that if you were to put the domestic loans and the other loans that we've been borrowing, put it all together as a debt, we will be looking at a whopping 193 trillion naira in Nigeria's debt could rise to, and that is really appalling. And just before the conversation that led to the approval of this 1.15 trillion naira loan, we saw a bickering, a back and forth at the Senate, where some senators, such as Abdul Ningi, had said, no, we should not continue to push for these kinds of borrowing, that it will indeed affect us in the long run. But let us hear from you in this regard. What do you think in terms of borrowing to cover up on how did they put it now? That there's a gap in the budget, and that is what this 1.5 trillion naira is meant to, cover or bridge. What are your thoughts on it?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Good morning, listeners. It shows that there's a fundamental problem.
Hunger.
There's a fundamental
problem. Okay, go ahead.
Problem.
Yeah.
With our economic managers and the economic theories that they are applying to solve our economic problems. Why do I say this? When this government came in, the first day of swearing in, the president pronounced the total removal of subsidy and is proud of it. That after the removal of the subsidy, our economic problem is solved. Unfortunately, subsidy was removed fully, And again, the naira was floated. That there's no control of naira again by the CBN. Yet, there are no solutions to our problem. Importation of fuel continues. Subsidy are still paid on fuel. They are talking of importation of fuel recently to be taxed. Which fuel are we consuming in the country that Dangote cannot produce for us? Our naira has been floated. Naira value has depreciated drastically. Yet, we are still going for borrowing. Note again that this budget of 2025 did not commence implementation until around August, September. They said they will roll the 2024 budget into 2025. The implementation is not up to 3 months. We are not seeing deficiency again in the budget. My point is that there is something wrong fundamentally with our economic managers and the theories they are using to solve our economic problem. That's my submission.
Right, there is something wrong with the economic managers and all of that, and even the theory that they are using to solve the problem. Indeed, and there has been some sentimental questions that Nigerians are indeed asking. One of such would be, with this approval, does it mean domestic loans will get us borrowing from the World Bank or IMF or China? And if it is not, what does it mean to borrow domestic loans? Also, how and from where will these loans be collated, right? There has been some talks too, as well as the fact that foreign loans come from other countries or institutions like the World Bank, IMF, or China, but they are in foreign currencies and dollars. So this one is domestic, meaning that inside Nigeria. And do you have any ideas how these loans will be collated, Prof? Because Nigerians are saying we're already being taxed. So where are you going to get these monies from now that will speedily address the unfunded gaps in the 2025 budget?
Yes, thank you. You will remind me of FRS, Internal Revenue Generation, Service, that have even over-generated their projection for the year in trillions. The question is that where is this money going to?
Right.
Everything in Nigeria today is taxed. Where is this tax going? And the revenue institution says that they have collected over their projection. Ditto, subsidy remover, has given us trillions of naira. Where are this money going to? Coming domestic for loan, it shows that it's as if we have reached our elastic in terms of foreign loans. We cannot borrow from the foreigners again, from the foreign ports again. That's why we are turning to domestic. That's my own interpretation. Because if you can borrow from externally, they will not come to internal to borrow. Secondly, it shows that there is money in the country domestically. That's where they can borrow from.
Right.
If there's no money internally, they will not resort to domestic borrowing. So that's what I'm saying, that there's a fundamental problem with our economic managers.
So, Prof,
let me cite one example.
Okay, yeah. So cite the example.
Let me cite one example. Some people might have been sick, ill, maybe of thyroid or maybe of sugar. You go from one hospital to the other for tests until you get an expert medically who will diagnose and prescribe, and the thing will go, and the sick will be happy and be loving that all the suffering have suffered. See the solution. What I'm saying in essence is that there are people that can run this economy of Nigeria better than those noise makers and name seekers, but they will not be allowed. Thank you.
All right. Well, so from your own point of view, do you think that Nigerian or the managers of the Nigerian economy have resorted or have vowed to to go in bed with borrowing for us to survive, for the nation to survive?
That is it. Because they can't think outside the box. They can't even think within the box. Some of them are engaged, they are politicians. And most politicians are thinking of the next election, how to win it. They are not technocrats. They are not experts. They are not intellectuals in the real term of the concept. They are politicians. They are cash and carry politicians. Any position they get, instead of using it judiciously, technically, technocratically, they are using it to just look for the next. They are thinking of next election. Which shouldn't be. There must be think tank. There must be a tank of thinkers who will be thinking for Nigeria about our economy, about our politics. But today we've muddled everything up. Every position in Nigeria today is being held by politicians. And politicians just no work other than to be thinking of how to win the next election.
So what then, Prof, what is the hope for you and I? What's the hope for the average Nigerian? I mean, in view of this.
I'm very sorry, our hope is dicey. Unless we return back to experts. Every profession in life needs experts, specialists. You can't carry an engineer and say you should be looking after our money. You can't carry a lawyer and say you should be looking at our politics. It's not going to work. Because it's not trained in that level. It's not trained. And they say, there's one common saying in academia.
Yeah.
A teacher cannot give to the student what he does not know.
Right.
The same thing, all these our leaders, they cannot give what they don't know. They will just be troubling and be running around on the same thing. What we call a motion without movement. You'll be thinking they are moving, just motion, but they are not moving. Because they are bereft of ideas. The intellectual prowess needed to handle economy, to handle politics, to handle science, to handle education is not there. And they are not ready to learn. If they will learn, they will go to Harvard and Oxford to go and learn about leadership. Some go to China, some go to Israel to learn about leadership. In Nigeria, where the ecology of Nigeria is different, there are institutions in Nigeria that can give us what we needed. Even when we are coming to the nation, to the locality, we patronize consultants. Consultants that are only patronizing or displaying students who are not even up to students. They will just put PowerPoint for us and say they are teaching about leadership and economy. Somebody who is not granted a first degree holder, a second degree holder, a PhD without experience, they are the one handling our consultants. And that's why the consultants will come back to consultants and let our institution drying and dying. Well, we can tap intellectuals.
So Prof, do you think we have all it takes to stop Nigeria from excessive borrowing or from wanton borrowings, as we've seen?
If we did not borrow, which means the budget cannot be run.
Great.
They've told us the fact.
Right.
They said they don't have the money, they cannot generate enough, like the cap in the budget. And they have to borrow so that they can be able to implement. It's cry everywhere.
So do we have all it takes to at least reduce, if not to the barest minimum, borrowings? Because there are some persons, family members in Nigeria too, who believe that, look, we are too rich to be poor. With all we have at our disposal, we should not even be talking about borrowing. Rather, we should be borrowing we should be lending out to some other persons, not borrow.
It's a fact. That's a fact. Has it not shown that we are rich? That's why we are coming domestically to borrow in trillions. It means you are rich. Our problem is the management of our richness. It's not spreading. We spend on wastages. It's not spreading. I agree with the propounder of the theory.
Right.
That we have no cause to be borrowing because we are rich. And then we are not even borrowing externally again. We are borrowing domestically, our own money, our own resources. It's our resources we are borrowing now.
Okay. Well, Prof, I want to say thank you. I mean, it was short notice, and yet you came through. Thank you, far too kind. We'll see how we can also get to hear from Nigerians right now. Maybe 1 or 2 calls before you go to your very serious, activity for the day. We'll take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you, Honorable Edwards.
Yeah, I'm calling for the prof.
Awesome. Talk to us, Honorable.
Let me agree with the prof. Actually, we don't have no reason to borrow, to be honest. Is that the reason why? You see, I always say this: being a member of APC does not mean I will criticize or I will disagree with my own government. The truth of the matter is that the money given to, the essence of fuel subsidy removal was to stop things like borrowing, because the money, as from what we have from Mr. President, the money is enough. Look at what is, it is by constitution, it is by law, what is given to state governors, and nothing is happening. So implementation of budget now is based on borrowing. How? What happened to fuel subsidy removal? Because we are suffering now. As it is, we are suffering. They are asking us to endure that everything is okay. Is it by borrowing? There was no need to remove fuel subsidy. There was no need. The fuel subsidy money is enough to sponsor our budget. If only the whole bulk of money is given to state governors that are not doing anything. The money that is not even getting to local government. But why not, Mr. President, change this tactics and help Nigeria? Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, that's Honorable Edwards right there, putting his feet on the ground in the discourse this morning. We will just take this one more call and then we go on a break. Hello, good morning.
Opong of the Most High.
Oh, my dear brother, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Livingstone. I'm calling from Use.
Oh, Livingstone, welcome aboard. Straight to the point if you can. 1 minute if you can, please.
Yes, please. We have a very serious problem with the managers of our economy. Okay, the president has removed the subsidy. And according to him, he was going to guarantee massive savings. Good. We've accepted our fate. He has removed subsidy. But what happened to the management of the resources that now accrue to the federal, state, and local government? Is it not going to be beneficial to everyone if a chunk of this savings will be channeled towards development at our pace instead of accruing debt for generations yet unborn? We do these things and we play about it. All these politicians do is to enrich their immediate families at the expense of the entire Nigerian masses. And they also have another problem, Ubong. If you look at the so-called developments that are being carried out with these borrowed funds, that all of us will eventually pay for, it is channeled towards a few ethnic nationalities. How do you expect everyone to pay for a debt procured for the benefits of a few Nigerians? Now projects are channeled towards personalities in different locations. Lagos, Southwest is being developed. When the former president was there, he developed the Katsina even to Niger Republic. Now what happens to the rest of us? These funds were borrowed in the name of all of us. Our children yet unborn. What happens to them? They come into this debt. How do we expect them in their own time to make the best of whatever accrued to them? It's so unfortunate. And I pray, just like the guest on the program said, he said our managers, the managers of our economy are doing a terrible job. And I rest my case there. Have a nice celebration.
You too, my brother Livingstone. Well, Prof, is it okay to reach back with you or get back with you? We want to go pay some bills right now, so I can hear your thoughts as to these position from family members, if that's okay.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'll get back to you with you in a short bit, if that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. All right, now that is the prof right there. Let's just go pay some bills. Bring your questions in, and we will have a conversation worthy of time. And don't worry, don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Any motor where you dey drive, you need confirm protection, no. For your engine, no. Get make a mobile, make it mobile, oh. Make it mobile, yeah. Anywhere you dey, your motor deserve to be number one, yo. Make it mobile, oh. Make it mobile, yeah. You carry the go, make everybody join me, say. Make it mobile.
Make you go with the best.
Make it mobile.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. It is Eagles Morning Risers Breakfast Show, and I'd like to enjoin you to do well to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Eagles FM Abuja. Do the same with the Facebook page wall at Eagles FM Abuja. Spread those beautiful Eagles lofty wings across every other social media platform, and you will find us at Eagles FM Abuja. Yes, we're looking into a topical issue that has to do with borrowing again, but this time it's not external borrowing, it's not foreign borrowing, it's more domesticated now. So the Nigerian government is looking into Nigeria to saying we want to borrow now inside Nigeria. Now, could it be that other countries have just refused to borrow us, or we have reached our limit or the maximum for borrowings from external countries? Can't say, don't know yet, but what the prof is saying, it does seem as though we've really gotten to that limit, and we are now looking inward. And this is something quite a number of family members had said before now. Why shouldn't we have started looking inwardly right from time before we start going outside or outwardly? But yeah, we've come back home. I mean, I guess the ship is sailing back home now. But this time, quite a number of concerns are coming through. So we are just rich to be able to look inside, and we have not been looking inside. And it also brings a concern of the those who have been managing the country's economy. I mean, have they really had a pact with the borrowings in enormous quantity that we just cannot do without borrowing? I mean, some have seen us as the giant of Africa, which is still contested now, the big brother of Africa, which is still contested now. If we are all of these things, shouldn't we be the ones giving a helping hand to countries like Ghana, Benin Republic, even South Africa? But oh no, that's not the case exactly. And the prophet saying, well, the hope is getting dimmer and dimmer, because the people who are supposed to be managers driving the economy, who are experts in this field, are not there. They are not. They are not just there. They cannot be found anywhere close. But yeah, I'll just as much as I could take your calls, maybe 2 calls and 1 message now, and we will call it all wraps. But let's start with this message as I see it. This one is coming from Joseph from Jahi. It says, "Good morning, UD. Good morning. Another borrowing. This is very funny. We have everything as a country, but we're still running in circles. My prayer is God should not allow Nigerian government to borrow from Okay, I see you now. Okay, I see what you're saying. But anyways, thanks though. Go take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Yes, good morning, please. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Undu.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. I want to quickly start by saying that the most annoying part about this borrowing issue is that the people are approving these loans are lawmakers. And do they care to know what the government has done with the previous one that are borrowed? Do they care to ask them, can you send us item by items what you want to use this money for? So that when you come next time, we will now ask you what you thought that you were going to use those money. Did you know achieve it? And also how much is left from that money before we can approve another one. So I want to say that our lawmakers must go beyond handling the affairs of this country with the mentality of public service. They must go ahead and handle the affairs like the private sector managers, because we are going nowhere. Like the money that we borrowed the former president, I think they ended up doing their way to Niger. How is it going to benefit us? So the lawmakers must make sure that they are not just the rubber stamp where anything goes. They must make sure they question the executive. What are they doing with this money? They question the president. The previous one you have borrowed, what have you done with it? Thank you.
All right. What have you done with it? Question. All right. Now, I'm just going to give a very, very quick and straight to the point education for some of us who are still trying to grapple with it. Now, when we talk about domestic versus foreign loans, it's like borrowing a pencil from your classmates. I'm just giving an example or an analogy versus borrowing it from a shop across town. Do you understand? So foreign loans come from other countries or institutions like the World Bank, IMF, China, and all of that. It comes in different denominations, dollars, euros, yuan, and it has long repayment periods, mostly 20 to 35 years. So if you did not know that, know it now. It always has 20 or long repayment periods, 20 to 35 years. So yes, when we say that you're borrowing and living it for the future generation, that's what it means. That's the danger. All right? And it usually comes with conditionalities, like reform promises and all of that. Domestic loans are borrowed inside Nigeria from Nigerian banks, pension funds, insurance companies, wealthy individuals who have naira sitting in their accounts doing nothing. It's like asking mom for 500 naira from a savings jar and to buy a snack. It's all naira. Shorter term, and the interest stays in Nigeria, though it still adds to the nation's debt. So where does the government get the domestic monies from? Treasury issues bonds or treasury bills where pieces of papers, or if you like, digital entries that say, I, the federal government of Nigeria, owe you 1,000 naira and will pay you back with interest after 90 days. Maybe 1 year, or maybe after 5 years, and so on. So banks and rich folks buy these because they are low risk and they earn interest. So take, for example, the 1.15 trillion naira approved for the 2025 budget deficit is simply the government saying, hey, Nigerian banks and investors and all of those who have given us money, lend us, government, 1.15 trillion naira for a few years at an agreed interest to plug a hole in our budget. No World Bank, no IMF, no China involved here. So the government is owing these folks with interest, though. So, this is a lot. Now, what are these monies, domestic loans? What is it intended for? Now, think of Nigeria as a big household of 200 plus domestic, 200 plus children run by mom and dad. Now, mom and dad stand to mean the government. The household has a monthly allowance, that's taxes, oil money, but sometimes big expenses will just show up. So for example, roads. Imagine the backyard path is full of potholes that trip everyone. Just imagine it. Now, fixing it costs 100,000 naira, but mom only has 30,000 naira. So she borrows 70,000 naira from auntie bank, one auntie like that, and promises to pay back with a little extra, like thank you, interest. And the path becomes smooth for everyone. Part of it were the borrowings for schools and clinics. Y'all be following now. Roads, schools, clinics. So the kids need a playroom, they need a school. And a nurse, they need a clinic. Those cost a lot up front. I mean, there's a lot of money to be spent. So more than the allowance that can cover. So mom borrows to build them now and hopes the healthier, smarter children will grow up to earn more allowance and that they will later pay back. Do you understand? The children will later pay these types of borrowing back. Not mom anymore. Mom would have passed. Daddy would have gone. And there is the budget hole where the 2025 budget has 1.15 trillion naira gap. Now it's like the household bills of 10,000 naira are bigger than the allowance of 8,850 naira. I'm just giving an example. So there is a need for our parents to borrow 1,150 naira, 1,150 naira, right? Yes, to fill that gap so that the lights don't go off. So if you put 1,150 naira, add it to like the 8,850 naira, you get like 10,000, you know. So that's the gap. They said it's is it unbudgeted or something? Unfinanced, unfunded. That's the word they used. Gaps. Unfunded gaps. Who are these? Who are these borrowings meant for? Who are they meant for? That's a big question. And this is where I'm going to call it a close on. Who are the benefactors of the dividends of domestic loans? Is it the elite or is it you and I? The man walking in the streets right now. So imagine that the borrowed 1,150 naira is a big sack of candy. So as mom is promising to share with all of the 200 children, in theory, every child gets a piece, right? A new road, a clinic, a school, a street light. In practice, the older, louder kids, that's the elite, they have stronger hands and so they will snatch most of it before the little ones even smell it. While some candy falls on the floor and gets lost to rats, snakes, gorillas. Rats swallow money, gorilla carry money, monkey carry money, ran away, and all of that's very, very shameful, disgraceful narrative that we've been given. That is corruption, mismanagement. So theoretically, though, the common man is a beneficiary, practically the elite, and corrupt middlemen, they are the ones who eat the biggest bites. When the snakes come, the snakes are the little munumunumu, you know, the bottlenecks here and there, and they take the rest, and there is nothing for you and I. We never taste of the stew. We are left hungry. No wonder the World Bank, the WHO, or the United Nations says that our poverty has gotten to a hotspot situation. We're now hotspotting it. It's so sad. But I want to be of hopes, high hopes. I mean, if we can start having more borrowings internally, maybe, just maybe, some of the crumbs will get to us, you and I, and we will indeed see the benefits of these borrowings in our lives. But then again, no country survives without borrowing. No business even survives without borrowing, right? But rather than be the borrower's capital, shouldn't we be the ones lending to and reducing our borrowing to the barest minimum? Well, my name is Udwak Daniel, and I'd like to thank you, Prof. I mean, I can't get back with you at this point. Time is not on our side, but thank you, Far Too Kind, for adding your voice in the discourse this morning. I mean, we will have more conversations in this regard, as this is an unending conversation. I'm hoping it will end someday, but I don't think that light is any time close or anywhere close to the end of a tunnel at this point. Well, 10 o'clock will be time for the general open banter, and thank you, merci beaucoup.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.